Yeah. You heard the siren, Dave. It's like we could have heard the siren an hour ago, but we were waiting for someone to show up, the diva that didn't show up last week. And then he shows up late this week. And you think you're going to make things better by showing up with some stale old gas station candy?
That's exactly what it is.
Jujubes, right?
It's substandard is what it is.
I was really actually ticked off at you until I tried one of those sour cherry blasters. It was fantastic.
Are they good?
It was terrific. It changed my whole opinion of you. I was really ticked off at you starting the show, and now I'm like, I forgive you completely because it's sour cherry blaster.
Woodstock Esso on Highway 2.
There you go.
All right, fellas, you ready to get this show on the road?
Sure.
Let's hit it. You know, here live from the Dutch Hall, we give you a glimpse every week of what it's like to be Pete Van Dyke, you know? Just hanging out in his back shed with his buddies, you know? Having a few drinks, playing some music, doing whatever the fuck I want.
That's right.
And you know, this microcosm of what happens on Thursday night isn't much different than what happens the other 24 hours of every day of every other week when you're not seeing Pete. I'm basically doing whatever I want. But this show's not for me. This show's for people that don't have the privilege that I have. The people that have to go back to work after they think they got the night off, or they got to go solve everyone else's problems. Guys like Derek Yarmy. Guys like Dave Charters. The show's for them. It's a noble cause, you know. But once in a while, I like to show an example of what's out there, what isn't. People that are doing things that are a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative, you know. This week I got in Jay Preston from King Cashew. One of Norfolk County's great talents.
Sure is.
But there's only one way to talk to him, folks.
How's that, Pete?
We do a little thing on our show called the theme song, boys. Know how it goes? That's it. everybody. Everybody, round of applause. Come on. Welcome, everyone, live from the Dutch Hall. We have an honest to God live studio audience here. Let's hear it for them. Welcome to Live from the Dutch Hall, the greatest podcast ever to come out of a guy's pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario, bar none. Bar none, and I believe it is because we have the greatest band in podcast history, the Nocturnal Emissions.
I am.
And they are comprised this week of Steve the Reluctant German on lead guitar.
Hey.
Thunderous applause, Steve.
Worms the cockles.
You'll notice on playing a second lead on acoustic, this week joining the Nocturnal Emissions for the first time ever, from King Cashew, Jay Preston is here.
Yeah, man.
Preston! A welcome edition.
And beside them is our late friend, the man that writes the music for the show, the Rooster Dave Charters is here.
Oh, man. Woo!
That's the appropriate response.
Thank you for coming, David.
And we have the man, the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions, playing his second string guitar. Whiskey Wes Hagens is here, everyone.
You all right, Wes?
And as always, we need a bartender, and I got a great one. He's my brother. He's our bus driver, and he's our good buddy. Paul Van Dyke is here.
What a beauty.
Yay.
And I'm the host of the show, two-time President's Club Award winner. That's the one. Pete Van Dyke.
Not once, but twice, people.
Yeah, nice. I like the ending there.
Like that?
Thank you. That's the opening. We got it done. Jay, you got through it, no problem.
All right.
All right, so welcome everyone live from the Dutch Hall. We are back again
Walking
on a
the park.
Thursday. Yeah, it was no big deal. We're back again. You know, we were without a certain member that's a regular as part of the Nocturnal Emissions, as we'll notice. And in light of the things that have been going on in the media, if you've been paying attention to the news at all, if you've been watching what's going on in the news, they've been having a real crackdown on people who have been inappropriate with women, putting them in, using their power to gain sexual favors from women, putting them in uncomfortable positions. You know,
That's right.
there's the Weinsteins, Harvey Weinstein, right? There was Bill. What's the name of the guy?
Cosby.
Well, there was
Yeah, that
Cosby
is-
too.
that's
Yeah,
true.
that was bad what Cosby did, David. You're right. And but I was thinking about the guy that was he's like the right wing blowhard guy. What's his name? He's like Papa Bear. He's like
Rush Limbaugh?
not like a Rush Limbaugh type, but he was on TV. Fuck, I can't remember the guy's name. Bill O'Reilly.
Oh,
that
O'Reilly,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like
Yeah,
a
real
dirtbag
prick.
too, right? You know. And then Sulu like drugged some guy and raped him. You know.
What?
Yeah, Sulu. Apparently, Sulu was comforting this guy who had broken up with his boyfriend. Next thing you know,
Oh, my.
Sulu asked him if he wanted another drink, and then he was waking up, same Cosby type thing, where his
Wow.
pants are being pulled down, and
Okay.
et cetera, et cetera. My bum hurts, that sort of thing.
That is an
Howie.
uncomfortable position.
My bum hurts, Howie. These sorts of things. Anyways, what I'm saying is Louis C.K.'s whipping out his dick
Yeah.
and making girls feel uncomfortable, you know.
Louis C.K.?
Which we broke that story before the New York Times. It's on Live from the Dutch Hall. We talked about it before, the Louis.
You heard it here
allegation.
first, people.
Years,
And it was on
years.
Gawker like 6 years before that,
Yeah,
right?
That's crazy.
But with no names. And now there's names, and he admitted and all the rest of it. And it's terrible. And in light of that, I thought that Live from the Dutch Hall has to do our part in this thing to make sure that women in the world are protected from male predators. In which case, I thought, which of us in the Live from the Dutch Hall crew would be most likely to commit a heinous crime against women? And I thought, Michael Bouw.
That's right.
Michael Bouw for sure. And until we have time to look into any sort of, because really you look at Mike, right? You look at, he's kind of like a jock, frat boy kind of look to him, right?
That's right.
If someone's going to get a, date rape someone, the obvious pick's Charters. But the obvious pick is Charters.
But
But,
he showed up tonight.
But he showed up, and Mike didn't. So I just say, well, all I'm saying is there's been no really hard and fast allegations, but I'm saying that we want to do our part, and we are going to look into it. So if anybody has ever had Mike whip his dick out and jerk it in front of them to the point where they felt uncomfortable, please send us an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, and we will explore these allegations to make sure that any sort of punishment is brought upon Mike and his dirty, dirty dick.
Dirty deeds.
Right?
That's right.
I don't know. I'm looking at Steve the whole time.
It's like-
I'm making Steve uncomfortable just for the sake. You're just in my eyesight, Steve.
Yeah, it's true.
I could look at someone else. Charters.
Yeah, look at that. He's way
Hey, how you
back there.
doing,
He's
buddy?
tucked in the corner
good.
tonight.
Charters, so are you okay? You seem frazzled. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. I
I'm
know
okay.
that.
I had a tough day.
You had a tough day?
I'm still fighting this cold. It's 2 weeks. It's been. And my mental health is suffering today as well.
Now, last week it was a real illness, right?
We could cure the mental health.
That's what we're here for, Dave.
Yeah.
Is to cure your mental health.
Yeah. That's why I came here, to help.
Now, does it? This is a serious question. I know we're often we joke around, but you come in here week after week, right? You have a busy life. You're the man that tries to do everything.
Fairly busy.
You have like a real job, not like the rest of us. A real job, right? You have 4 children.
Yeah.
You coach a sports team for one of the children, right? You're the head coach.
All true.
Now, do they just call you the head coach because of what you do to some of the parents when you get drinking?
No, it's because I'm responsible for making practice plans and
Oh, is that why?
giving inspirational messages to the kids and
Oh,
setting an example.
Oh, it's not from blowing dudes?
No.
Oh, okay. Just so we're clear. Okay, Charters. So what my point here is that you're trying to do it all, and you still find time on Thursdays to make this drive down here and do this, right?
Yeah.
Which you get no compensation, right?
No.
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 Zero.
No compensation. Unless being made fun of incessantly is compensation.
That's the thing. You pay a price for coming here, and yet all of that is worth it. And can you explain that?
Well, the truth is, I enjoy the camaraderie in the Dutch Hall.
Right?
Yeah. You know, and the deli trays are nice.
They sure are.
You did come. You know what I noticed? The one week we had sausage from Cortland Bakery, which I thought would be a real treat for the fellas, right? But it's live from the Dutch Hall, and the only one with the stomach for the spiciness of the Cortland Bakery sausage was the Pollock. Eh?
Yeah,
the rest
good.
of the Dutch people were a little bit.
It was just the way I
overwhelmed by
liked
the
it.
spice.
It tasted like it might
And
have
the
gone a
German.
bit over, like it was going a bit sour. It's just the way I like it.
You like it?
Mike Bouw wasn't touching it. He could tell.
Yeah. It was too much for him, eh? The spice is too much for a real Dutch guy like Mike, eh? He has to. You have to, ease him into it. It's not good for his tummy.
That's right.
He likes a nice Black Forest ham.
Yeah, as long as it's not too old.
Yeah, and slice nice and thin. Anyways, I think we got a big show today, and I really am excited about talking to our guests. But before we do that, I think we need to get to a segment of our show that we call Feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback.
Motherfucking feedback, people.
Hey, welcome to Feedback. As always, feedback is brought to you by our friends at Amazon. If you'd like to do your Amazon shopping, as Whiskey Wes Higgins did, he did some Amazon shopping. He sends me a message saying, Pete, it's not working. Your fucking ads aren't working. I'm not the only one that's told you this. Get your act together. You're a grown man. You should be able to get this stuff together. And I said, Wes, you're right. But what you could also do is shut off your ad blocker, and that thing will pop right back up. And
Yep.
and it worked.
It worked.
It did work for him.
What'd you buy, Wes?
I bought a tablet for my daughter for Christmas.
Oh,
So whatever your kickback of about $300, that's
that's
coming
sweet.
back.
That's sweet business.
It's like, what, 30 cents?
I'm
You can
buying
make
a splitter.
small purchases on Amazon or big purchases. Both work.
Yeah, Christmas season is coming. This is their big Amazon season, so use it. But you might. That's a good tip is that if it doesn't pop up, the ad blocker might be on if you have one, and shut it off, and then you can click on the Amazon banner, and then any of your shopping you do, some of that money's going to come back and help the show. And it seems like we might need a new board.
Another good tip is stop being a douchebag.
What's that?
Go on Amazon.
Go on Amazon?
Yeah, just do it.
What do you
A
call
lot
it?
of people buy stuff not on Amazon, right? That they could buy on Amazon.
Yeah, that's right. I don't really care if Amazon, but if you want to buy it somewhere else, I don't give a fuck. It's just you could help our show. But you know the way you can help our show? Why don't you go down and buy some meats from Nordpack?
The beef people.
You're getting it, Paul. It's not as quick as feedback, you know. It didn't. These guys just didn't pick that up overnight. It happened over time where they were trained, right? At first it was sloppy, but now you.
Just me.
What?
It was just me all by myself.
Yeah, feedback. Anyways, where were we? Oh, you could go to Nordpack, get some
The beef people.
Hey! See, it's working already. Say no more. You're in Norwich, good meat, you know where to go. Nordpack.
The beef people.
Nailed it.
And I would be remiss. I'm going to get to, if I don't mention Yarmy Electric, it's getting that time of year where it's, wintertime. Maybe people are going to take a break, Maybe people are going to slow down a little bit. Maybe people are going to catch their breath, spend some time with their 4 children. Maybe some people are going to maybe contemplate the 5th. Or maybe they're just going to pretend that they're going to be trying for the 5th by doing dirty, dirty things with their hot, hot wife, right?
Yeah, what are you taking out your Christmas lights and half a strand's out on one of them?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
But don't call my cousin Derek. He's busy thinking about things to do this winter.
That's right.
Most of them include impregnating people again and again and again. So leave him alone. Yarmy Electric. If we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. And if we don't get it right the second time,
You can go fuck yourself.
leave him alone. He's busy.
He's a busy guy.
Now, our primary sponsor, I want to talk about this. Live from the Dutch Halls made the commitment to go to live streaming.
Yep.
And technology has never been my friend. And I don't, I'm very slow at learning things. So I'm not getting it yet. The equipment's not working, so we're still not there yet. But we wouldn't have gotten there without the help of our sponsors, including our primary sponsor, our video endeavor, CleanFlow. And a couple weeks ago, Dave wanted to go through, our good friend Dave Charters here, wanted to go through and show CleanFlow that he was happy for their support, and he wanted to help do some ads.
That's right.
Problem was, they didn't like his ads. They didn't ask him to do that, did they? They didn't ask him. They spent money as a sponsor of this show. They want to show us support in every way, and Dave just thinks for him. Dave just makes his own decision on what CleanFlow is going to want, right? Now I got to deal with Mr. CleanFlow, who's not happy with the way things went down. So guess what? These guys are serious sponsors. We're trying to be a real show here, right? So they sent us with their script this week, and they asked for you in particular, Dave, to be in this ad.
All right.
As the primary principal with
good.
myself,
I want
of
to
course.
I want to help him out, so that's good.
The star of the show here, right? So Charters, this is a CleanFlow ad. You'll notice your name there is in letters, so you can just go.
Useful.
Just start at the top.
Just start at the top. We'll go.
It's like a
through.
script. It's almost like a movie script.
That's right. It is.
Okay. I'll start
Nice
where it
work.
says Dave.
Yeah, where it says Dave there.
Hello. I am an idiot who doesn't
Wow.
take proper care of my vehicle, and for some reason it seems to be running like shit.
Ah. The location of your GDI injectors and your cylinder head do not allow fuel to spray the back of the intake valves, making it difficult to keep the intake runners and valves clean.
I'm sorry. I'm very stupid. And you used a lot of big words. Plus, half of the time you were talking, I was scratching my ass crack and sniffing my fingers.
Oh, no problem, sir. There's a bunch of crap in your fuel injectors cutting off your air supply. Makes your car run bad.
Should I just set it on fire and blame it on the Indians?
I wouldn't do that, sir. Instead, we could just use CleanFlow's direct injection solution 101. It effectively reduces valve deposits, improving airflow, idle quality, and engine performance of your GDI engine.
Thank God for Clean Flow. Now I can get back to trying to lick my own elbow.
See, Dave? That's how it's done, eh?
Okay,
you service the sponsor.
I read it without knowing what was on the paper, but I have to say that the Clean Flow ads in no way depict my feeling of the native Canadians in any way, shape, or form.
What? What?
No. And anyone could set my car on fire.
Yeah,
anyone of any
true.
creed or race or...
Yeah, but you drove it to the reserve. That's what I'm saying. You know, that joke's not funny without the fact that people actually fucking do that shit.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. I went to high school with a guy that's what he did. He lived in Brantford, and he just his dad was just like, "Oh, you're done with your car? Just set it on fire and say the Indians took it."
Just drive down 4th line. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. It's just a thing you do at the end of your life of your car.
Or the quarries.
It's crazy.
Or the quarries? Is that you dump it over into the quarry?
Tons of cars there.
Yeah? When you're done with it and you just blame it on someone stole it?
Well, that's one way to get rid of it.
I think it's good for scuba diving afterwards in a quarry. If it's just full of old
To
cars.
Hagersville.
Indian Mines?
Indian Line.
See, that road's still called Indian Line, even though it's politically incorrect.
Yep.
Did you know that in the States, they're still cool with it?
That's right. Like the Cleveland Indians is still a thing.
Yeah. And even when they just talk in regular conversation about the First Nations people, they'll just say Indians, and then they know it's wrong or whatever, but they just don't care. And it's not a big deal for them. And they kind of like make fun of us for being like, oh, yeah, they're real kind of politically correct about it up there, you know? Anyways. The worst one, I think the worst one is the Cleveland Indians. Everyone gives the Redskins the big grief because it is kind of like on the nose, you know, like Redskin, you know. But Indians, the mascot's like pretty offensive.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Like Johnny Wahoo or something.
What?
Like, yeah, it's something crazy.
It's like the cartoon-looking...
Yeah, it's like the
the
equivalent of like a blackface minstrel stuff like that would be super offensive to African Americans.
He's a fucking happy Indian.
What about the Chicago Blackhawks?
It's a cart. Yeah, that's like the Chicago Blackhawks. Out of all of them, is the one that's saying they're paying tribute to a noble tribe of particular First Nations or whatever. So they're like more specific that it's like honoring them or whatever, and not being.
And that's their real name, probably, that they like to go by.
Yeah.
The
It wasn't
Blackhawks.
like it's like the Mohawks if they call themselves the Iroquois or something like that. You know, you'd be like, is that offensive? I don't know. And it's still kind of probably, I guess. Could you call yourself the Dutchman as a team name? It wouldn't be offensive to me, right? What if you called them what would you be, the Polish?
What if you called your pirate ship the Flying Dutchman? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I have no problems with it. That's a real thing. It was on SpongeBob. Right?
That's right.
That's how I know all my pirate lore is from SpongeBob. It's the same, because then sometimes I'll watch Pirates of the Caribbean and I'll be like, hey, I know that from SpongeBob. Right? Like the Davy Jones locker.
Yeah.
That's what I really know it from. Anyways. Where were we? Or we're on... That's the
Sponsors.
Clean Flow ad. But we have to get the actual feedback. We ask our listeners every week for it. And this week, I got to admit, after last week's show, it was... there wasn't a lot of feedback. There wasn't a lot at all. But there was one person who is full on... I'm going to call her a super fan of the show. And she is back. She was last week's Listener of the Week. And she's back on Podbean. She gave us a couple different pieces of feedback. And I'd like to share them with you. It's from the Second Mouse. It says, wow, thanks for the shout-out, guys. Hashtag Delhi Pride. Hashtag listening in Delhi. I need to drop off a specialty cheese tray.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Just let me know when, she says. Just let me know when. So officially, I'm going to tell you, we are here every Thursday, and we will do whatever. We are like whores. We are like cheap, easy whores.
Will work for cheese.
Yeah, for cheese, a specialty cheese tray.
I'm
Now,
in.
now Mike Bouw's not here this week, but he would just be shouting out Gouda. He would just be shouting out Gouda. I know he loves his Gouda. So if you're going to put something on a specialty cheese tray, please for my cousin Michael, even though he might have some sexual misdoings in his past. I don't know. But I'm willing to forgive it. I'm willing to forget and give the man some Gouda.
Good.
But I'm telling you, if you are offering a cheese tray, we would love to have it here at Live in the Dutch Hall any Thursday. Yeah. Let me know how I can pick it up, or I can give you the address. Just reach out to me at liveinthedutchhall@gmail.com, or send me a message on any of those social media platforms, and I will gladly take your cheese and tell the world about the second mouse in Delhi.
Absolutely.
Not the listener of the week until I get the cheese. You can't get it 2 weeks in a row. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You got it last week. Don't get too full of yourself. Bring the cheese. Maybe we'll go 2-time listener of the week. Huh? All right. That is feedback. We got feedback. If you'd like to, you know how to get a hold of us. We are Dutch Hall on Instagram and Twitter, and we are live from the Dutch Hall on Facebook. Do all the things to get a hold of us. And also, I got to tell you about the shows we got coming up. We have November 23rd. We're doing Dutch Hall Comedy at the Little Belgian in Delhi. It's on a Thursday, and we're contemplating how we're going to do the podcast, or whether we're going to do a live podcast after the comedy show, or if we're just going to come back here to the Dutch Hall and do it. I'll send something out on social media to let people know what we're doing, but we'll figure it out by tonight. And
maybe you should ask if people would watch the show.
Would anyone want to see a live podcast? Then let us know. Otherwise, if we're just going to make people want to go drink their beers and go home quicker, I don't know. Anyways, that's the one thing we could do. We were and then we're also at Swazi's on December 1st, and that is going to be a great show. Clifford Myers is headlining that show, and the Nocturnal Emissions will be playing after the comedy program. And also, I want to just plug myself. I am.
Say that again after I hit record.
I want to plug myself.
Thank you.
Is that good? You want to just have that so you can listen to me say that?
Yeah.
You can make your ringtone?
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I am going to be in the Go Yuck Yourself finals. That's coming up in 2 weeks at the Yuck Yucks in Hamilton. It should be a great lineup of people, and I think it's still going to only be $5 to get in.
Nice.
So you can go. I think that's going to be the last Wednesday of November, whatever that is, the number.
That's
29th.
a steal.
And good lineup of people. Cause it was 4 rounds, I think, of comics, 8 each, and the top 2 moved on from the 4 rounds to make the final 8. So it'll be 8 pretty good guys that you'll be able to see for a pretty cheap price.
Pretty good.
And I don't know who's headlining that one, but it'll be good. Anyways, that is it. That is it. Now, I'd like to, without further ado,
Oh, the show's over. That's
now we can actually start the show, I think.
That's right.
And we'd like to invite our guest today. He is. We were lucky enough to meet him at Bushstock. I know the Nocturnal Emissions were able to spend some time around the campfire. Hopefully, we'll talk about the stories of that after we get to introduce him. He's been in a number of different bands in Norfolk County. You might have seen him if you've watched live music anywhere close to around here, and in many different forms. He's now fronting his latest project, King Cashew, and he's promoting the upcoming album, Infinity Lounge. He's going to play a couple of tracks off the new album. Here he is, Jay Preston, everybody.
Woo, Jay.
All right, I'll give you that. Well, we got an intro here. I got 2 guitars, so.
Oh, yeah.
Get back to my ways and separate the days, 'cause everything I know will only come to show. This feeling comes around and taps you to the ground. I feel incapacitated. I'm flying to the sound like a cloud. Hear the sounds all around. Gonna sit back all the way and hear what you gotta say. 'Cause everything you know will only come to show. This feeling comes around and slaps you to the ground. I feel incapacitated. I'm flying to the sound like a cloud. Hear the sounds all around. Like a cloud in the sounds all around. Like a cloud.
All right. That was Jay Preston from King Cashew.
Nice
Singing,
job,
he
man.
did the instrumental at the beginning. It was Infinity Lounge from the album entitled Infinity Lounge, right? And then he followed up with Like a Cloud. Yeah. Excellent. How is this the first album from King Cashew?
Yeah, for sure. It's it's a long time coming album.
Yeah. Kind of something that you've been like working towards for quite some time.
Well, yeah, I've always been behind writing songs in bands, but to actually take control and not worry about putting somebody as a puppet was the main thing, you know.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I had ideas of bringing other singers in and make them do the songs I was writing.
Right.
Or, you know, sharing the stage, you know. But now I just take it by myself and...
Just easier when you don't have to coordinate all the people?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to shut this phone off.
That's all right. So, Jay, actually, you guys in the Nocturnal Emissions, you met Preston at Bushstock this year, right?
That's right.
Around the campfire.
Sure
this is
did.
my first time really meeting you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't... Well, actually, I guess I seen you before because it was at the Jake the Snake show.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
But a friend of mine told me that you were one of the comedians. I didn't know at the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a great show.
It was a good
You were at that show, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a pretty good. That was a fun night, man. Meeting Jake the Snake and everything. He was better than I thought, actually. Didn't you think?
Well, yeah, I was there to get some of my wrestlers signed so I could sell them.
Oh yeah. You sell collectibles as well,
The rubber ones.
Yeah. But you hung around and played music with these guys at the campfire, right? At Bushstock?
Yeah, and it was amazing how I got there. I was looking for my phone. I was up in the special lounge.
Yeah, the Tiki Bar.
Yeah, with my golf cart, and I ended up finding it, and Bushy's wife there was helping me because she called it, right? And it
Yeah, my
rang.
sister Lisa.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's who. And she's like, you should be over by the fire. And I'm like, what fire? And we got in a golf cart and we went down. And that's where I met the guys.
They were sitting by the fire, and they were. This was the first night, right? So they were still full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah, it was Friday.
It was Friday night, yeah. And
Yeah, I actually did both shows. I did Friday and Saturday.
I know, but these guys played Saturday, but they blew their wad at the campfire on Friday.
my memory of that campfire night is a bit sketchy, but when I remember you showing up, I'm pretty sure it was very late in the evening already. Like, I think we were already I think I was thinking about the show the next day at that point and, like, being responsible and maybe packing it in.
It was like 5-ish.
Yeah, it was about 5 in the morning, and you were thinking about being responsible.
Yeah.
And then a new guy shows up at the campfire, and it's Preston here,
Yeah.
and he's and you guys are like born anew again, right? You got new life again.
Yeah, it was great.
Breathe into you because you get to play with a new guy.
Yeah. He showed up with one of those big bottles of beer of Lug Tread and sat down, and I think you brought a guitar. And then
More likely. I'm usually packed with that golf cart.
yeah, and it turned out to be a great time. You and Steve played some Grateful Dead and stuff, it was good.
It's great.
So, Preston, when did you get started in music?
At a very young age, I wanted to play drums at first, and that didn't really work out. And that was at a young age, and it fades, right? And then it was right around, I think, Appetite for Destruction,
Oh yeah, GNF&R.
where I really started playing, you know. And it was the energy, like how people feel about sports in grade 2
Yeah.
in gym, you know. And, you know, everybody's freaking out, and I wasn't freaking out about football or anything. But when I actually picked up the guitar, I felt the energy that they probably had.
Yeah. You felt your passion became clear.
Yeah, well, I knew, you know, to tell it like that, I knew that then. You know what I mean? at a young age. Or when it hit me, and I was like, well, this is why I was missing in sports.
Right.
You know.
And your parents didn't have to tell you to practice guitar
No, it was
at that point in time.
nobody would actually get me a guitar.
But it's probably why it made you want to play it more, you know? Because it was your own thing or your own drive, right?
A friend of mine, I bought my first electric guitar, and I saved. That was the first time I think I ever saved.
What'd you do to make the money?
I can't really remember. I think it was just if somebody gave me $5, I put $5 away.
Oh, yeah.
But
Like, yeah, birthday money or anything you could scrounge. Anyway, if you could-
Smith's Bakery was actually where I picked it up.
Oh, really?
Right.
And it was like a
Yeah, for those playing the Dutch Hall drinking game, Green's Corners, drink.
Yeah.
Right?
Smith's Bakery, drink.
Smith's Bakery, which I heard rumors was going to be a brewery. That they're going to make that into a brewery someday.
Not yet.
No? Is that all right? Is that maybe I shouldn't say that. It's a rumor in town.
wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, sorry, you got your but you got your guitar. You knew what you were doing like early on, and like where you knew it was something that you really enjoyed early on, right?
Yeah, well, the guy I got the guitar from, we ended up playing in the band with and going on breakfast television in like '94.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and well,
Like how old would you been then?
I was 14, 15.
And you went on. You played music on breakfast television then?
Yeah, I got the footage of it.
Oh, really?
Tucked
Cool.
away somewhere.
How did that work out? How do you get on breakfast television?
Well, it all happened quick. I was barely playing guitar,
Yeah.
and then me and Terry Shepard Jr.
Yeah.
He's still around, and we went to Glenn Atkinson's recording studio, if you know who that is.
Yeah. And in the area, the Atkinsons are musical royalty almost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we just did like 4 songs, and I sent them off to City TV, and they called me, and they're like, "Yeah, come on our show."
Oh, really? Is this one of those things that like you just strike it, get something to happen when you're 14 and just shit luck, eh? Like,
Yeah, especially in the '90s, right?
Yeah.
Because that show was big then.
You must have thought that it was pretty fucking easy then at that point in time, right? Like you were like, this is like I'm already getting like a television exposure. I've been doing it for less than a year, you know.
Well, the universe is yours, if you can think of it, right?
Right. But I'm saying like you weren't on breakfast television every year since that time, right?
No.
So you hit early, and then you like then you had
know?
to become you had to eventually come down to earth to realize that the real thing in the arts, or like if you're going to be in music or comedy or any sort of thing like that, is most of the time things don't go that well. You mostly eat shit and play.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And I've had a lot of good luck since with music. For
Yeah.
sure. You know, I got to open for David Wilcox, Helix. I've been at music festivals. Same bill line with like July Talk
Oh yeah.
and Trailer Park Boys were there. And
Yeah.
we've opened for Il Scarlet a few times.
It's amazing that when you like you say the universe is yours, and I kind of believe that too, because I was a banker for 15 years, and then thought you think you're on a path, you know, you're going down a path a certain way, and you think that's the only way you can do things, you know, and then you realize that you don't have to do any of that shit. You can do something completely different, and you can make your own things happen. And once you start being in that open to the possibilities of those things, then you start to realize it's a smaller world than you think, and everything kind of you do start to meet people that you'd never thought you would ever interact with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like timing is everything, and it's like 1 second off, everything changes. Right?
And also, I think, especially in Canada, the difference between success and mediocrity is like nothing. You know, that it's like you can see a guy who's like what you would think would be like a huge success in Canada, and he's still just struggling to have people remember him. You know, like he's still going through the same struggle that a struggling artist is going through because he or she wants to still just be relevant, just wants to still make stuff that people care about, and just wants to have their whatever they're creating have a market. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And that commonality is the same between a guy who's in Delhi, starting to perfect his craft, and a person that's been established for 30 years in the business is still, they're still going through that same process. That's still commonality. So if you meet some of these people like Wilcox or someone that's been more acclaimed in the business, how do they treat a guy that's more at the earlier stage in his career?
Well, it's different with all of them, right? Like,
well, how was Wilcox in particular?
he was pretty, like, tell you the truth, like, I got in a lot of trouble that night.
Really? See, it's a better story.
So, like, we opened up for him. I met him briefly, right? And he's pretty mellow nowadays.
Yeah. Not the old Wilcox.
And a friend of mine, I got off stage, and a friend of mine came up and said the security guard had took something that I should probably get back, which is for the band at the time, right? And so I went up to the security guard and I asked him, hey, you got something of the band's. Can you give it back? And he's like, no. Right? And he's like, do you want me to call the cops? That's what he said. And I'm like, yeah. Because you're not one.
Right? Just give me my stuff back.
Yeah, and eventually he wasn't giving it back. And I just said, it's all right. You're just an old fucker anyway. And he was an old man at the time, right?
Yeah.
And he got mad and he attacked me.
Oh, physically attacked you?
Yeah. And then when he grabbed hold of me, my beer flew across the room, and it was all cans, right? And we were throwing tables around, and I was just trying to hold my fort. If you know what I'm saying.
This is at the Wilcox show? Where was it? Do you remember what town?
Yeah, Delhi.
Oh, was that the Belgian?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Belgian Hall.
Yeah, that sucks the Belgian's closed, right?
Yeah. We fought until we got into the audience, and next thing you know, it was all kinds of security guards, and I didn't do anything until somebody bit my thumb.
That was all it took?
Yeah.
That was the what set you off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't bite the guy's thumb, really.
Well, I got charged with assault for punching his face out, but when you're not the type of manner.
Yeah, when in Rome, man. That's a rock star story, though. That is really what you like. That's what you think of a rock star gig. You should have stories like that, right? It builds your folklore. If you want to really have like a career, you gotta live a rock and roll lifestyle, right? That's why Braden Akuman rented a room at the Del Motel, even though he lived in Norwich, because he wanted a trash hotel room.
Yeah.
And he knew the Del Motel wouldn't be able to tell that the room was trashed because it looked the same as when he moved in.
I agree. I've been driving cab, and I did some deliveries there, and I seen those rooms.
It's tough, man. The Del Motel, when you're staying there, you got to think about seriously what choices you made in life. Hey, I wanted to say, do you have a real job?
Well, yeah. I buried phone lines for 12 years.
Yeah.
Now I'm I don't know. I'm not doing that anymore right now.
Yeah. So do you find obviously, like when you're trying to balance, you got like with anybody that's trying to create something, right? I always find there's people in life. There's like you're either like a consumer or like a creator, right? You're like a person that watches or a person that participates. You know, like and when you're one of the people that are creating, you know, you have to balance the commerce with the art. And the commerce isn't there most of the time, you know, with anybody in an artistic venture, right? So how do you balance the fact that, you know, if you put more effort into your art, you'd probably be able to get more money, but there's a risk associated with that. But if you took the easy route where you took like the job where you know you're going to get the 9 to 5,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like how do you balance that sort of thing?
Well, that's basically why I'm not doing the wire shit right now, because there was no music. You know what I mean? Like, I totally dedicated myself somewhere else, and it's like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
like I dedicate, I know
but-
exactly what you mean, because I dedicated 15 years to learning fucking financial ratios that I don't give a shit about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about your debt to equity ratio, but I know what it means.
Well, the thing is, you gotta follow your heart, right? And when you know how to follow your heart, you'll know what you gotta do.
Right. But you have to admit, though, you make a choice if you're going to follow your heart that you're going to live a more modest lifestyle.
Well, obviously, but we're all trained not to do that shit.
Right. Ideally, right?
But you know, like musically, I knew what I've always done music since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always helped me to release the tension of all the bullshit I take in. Right? And then when you recycle that energy to frequency, somebody takes it in and feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Then you can you can say that you feel better because you made them feel better, kind of thing.
Well, I know how to release my tension to playing.
Right.
So when I'll go out to the bar and I'll just like be pissed off playing a guitar solo, but it's like a lot of feel. But somebody in the audience is gonna suck that in and just no longer feel like shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I see it all the time.
All right.
It's just recycled energy.
And you
around and around and around again.
Yeah. I see it too. I mean, if you got I did a show last night, and it was the crowd was into it, and it was a good crowd. They were pretty hot, you know, and that energy was great because I didn't feel very good before I did the show, and I didn't. And then I did the show. I felt good while I was doing it, you know, and then you could feel that it went well. And it's not like you can really pin it down that it went well. You just get that energy like you're talking about. Like, you get some sort of intangible feeling back from the crowd that you know it was a good. They thought well of you.
You harness the energy of the room,
right?
And once you understand you have that.
Well, have you had a shit room? Like, you must have had shit rooms.
Like Delhi.
Like, have you had a room where the energy's real bad, they're not receptive to what you're doing, and you still got to play through that?
Oh yeah, but like you can't expect people to clap, you know, every time. I mean, it doesn't matter, because just do your thing, you know. If you do that at home around the kitchen table, and it makes it feel good there.
Yeah.
You do it out there too. You know,
yeah, do what you think is good, right?
And
like what makes you happy, right?
You'll meet the same people in every town. It's not like you're gonna go somewhere and everybody's different.
Yeah, people.
You know, they're the same people in every town. Like,
I don't know. I'll make one exception. Is Toronto. I don't know those people. I don't get those people at all. Whoa, that was like an explosion
probably.
of beer.
That's that cheap beer.
And I'll tell you, most people are universally the same, but In Toronto, they get butthurt about everything. They're such like. I think in the big cities though, like the people are like that are there, are just like young people who are like career driven or something like that.
What I mean about people being the same is people like the music the same.
Right. Moves them the same way. Like they have the same universal traits that make them the same.
It's the only thing that we have in common too, right?
Yeah.
All over the world.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes music will move you. Like, I mean, like, I always think about Steve and Fish, you know? Like, Steve loves Fish. It moves him, right? Or Grateful Dead even, you know? Steve's really into that Grateful Dead and the Fish and stuff like that. He loves it, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And he plays it all the time for me and all that stuff, and it's always on. And he likes
Not
to...
your thing?
No, it doesn't do anything for me. It's like falls onto me like I'm like nothing. It makes no impact onto my thing, right? But if you put in like White Stripes album or something like that, then I'm like totally like I'm into that. Like I get it. It moves me in a way that it's like hits me deep in my core. The way I imagine that same shit does for Steve, that does nothing for me at all, right? It's like I understand it's good.
It's still
But
a
it doesn't hit me the same way it hits him. You know, I know that. Like he has more of a passion for that music than I can appreciate. In fact, if he was like less enthusiastic about the music, I think I might like it more because I just don't see it the same way he does, you know? Like he sees it the way like it's like a child on Christmas going down the stairs and, you know, seeing the Christmas tree, you know, all lit up or whatever, you know? That's the kind of way Steve sees Fish. I see it just like another band, you know? But it's because it hits him at a different way than it strikes him more at his core.
I think it's because he's a guitar player, too.
Yeah. He has a different perspective than I do, right? Yeah, I agree. Because musicians like Fish and Grateful Dead, they like jammy type of things because they see the musicianship of the whole thing, right? Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Well,
Because you're not just a...
They used to say you had to do drugs to hear the Grateful Dead, right? I never really understood that until I was in that situation. And when they do jam, all the notes do echo all over the place, and it's weird. You know what I
so
mean?
maybe I just don't do the right drugs.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
Magic
Hey, I'm not
mushrooms.
against it. I'm not against any of it. Give me the right drugs to the right music. If you sat me down with a fucking REM album and you said, Pete, if you took Whippets and listen to REM, it's fucking awesome, man. It's like it's not even like music. It's like you're gonna come in your pants, right?
Well,
I'll be like, give me a fucking bottle of whipped cream. Let's go. Maybe I'm a Michael Stipe fan.
You don't need to listen to drugs to listen to the Grateful Dead and enjoy it.
No, you
or
don't.
Listen to Fish.
You don't.
You do not need to be on drugs.
No, you don't.
You just need to like music, right? You need to know music.
You can feel the energy of the crowd, the energy through the music.
That's another
It's
thing.
a real thing.
That's another thing that I don't have that Steve has, and maybe you have too, and Leah definitely has. Is that I have never seen.
I don't do drugs.
I have never seen Fish live. Like I've never seen them live,
coffee.
or the Grateful Dead live. If I had maybe been to a Dead show, and my friends that were into the Dead all like were really into the Dead, and they had all went to the shows. I never went to a show. Maybe if I went to a show, I would have changed my mind. Maybe. But you went to a show, Paul. You never went to a Dead show? Oh, I thought you did. Okay, yeah. Charters, you never went to a Dead show, did you?
No, never.
No. And why didn't you?
I watched a documentary once. I didn't even... I don't know. I didn't even know they were playing.
Me neither.
That's why I didn't go.
And it wasn't even my lexicon. Like, it never entered my lexicon. That's the thing.
We're going to see them in a couple weeks.
Whoa, wow. Who are we going to see?
Dead and Company.
Dead and Company.
In Detroit
Well,
on Friday.
Well, who are they now?
All right, it's the
Everybody in the Grateful Dead?
It's the
Who's
original.
dead?
Jerry's dead,
Pretty
and they've
well.
lost a lot of.
They all died.
They are all old. Anyway, it's Bob Weir. It's the original drummers, and filling in for everyone else is John Mayer.
Everyone
John
else?
Mayer.
Oh, the John Mayer, eh?
Well, and the bass players from the Allman Brothers, and
No, I'm just kidding. Of course
the
it's going
Grateful
to...
Dead died when Jerry died.
good night, guys.
You know.
Yeah, well, we are at the end of the show,
Hey, look at
actually.
that.
Well, thank you for coming, everybody. Thanks for coming, guys. We actually are at the end of the show.
Yeah, don't forget to listen.
Crazy.
To find out what you missed.
Yeah.
See you, Jeffrey.
Do we want to? I just wanted to plug the King Cashew. If you'd like to go on the King Cashew Facebook page, you can see all the dates coming up. They're playing all around, and I just want to make sure people are aware of where King Cashew's playing. So go on Facebook to the King Cashew page, like their page, and check out the dates coming up. I know they got they're going to be at the Copper Bug in Tilsonburg, and where else are you going to be? You got
we're going to be at Sanders Lounge the following weekend in Brantford, Fire and Grill. That would be...
Yeah, we got listeners in Brantford, so come. But anyways, go to their page and check them out. And you can also give us some feedback live from the Dutch Hall at gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that bullshit. And tell a friend. Also, go see us at Swazi's or the Little Belgium.
Come on,
Little
man.
Belgium next Thursday, and Swazi's on December 1st.
Sorry, that would be November 25th in Sanders.
And, yeah, November 25th.
King George Road.
Until next week, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday.